So today I will be telling the story about how I once dated a guy who was scamming a woman with cancer for money, and I didn't know it. This is a pretty long story, so I'm going to try to get to it and make it one video, but it'll probably be two parts. So let's just go back. The timing of this is between January and the end of April of 2021. Long story short, we had gone on a date back in 2019, I believe, because he knew one of my friends from college, yada, yada, yada. He screwed me over back then, treated me like shit, but came back around because he moved back to North Carolina and was like, hey, do you want to shoot? He was a photographer. Do you want to shoot some photos? Obviously, because in my line of work. He was like, and I just want to right some wrongs. And I was like, okay, cool. Why not? I was still living in my hometown at the time at my parents' house, so we were just like hanging out here and there. He was being really nice, of course. He was just like love bombing. But he would pull the whole like, I'm not ready for a relationship, but I love hanging out with you thing. And then I moved to Charlotte, and then obviously we started hanging out more. This guy was very charismatic. Like, he was funny to be around. He wasn't the nicest guy, so I don't really know why I was hanging out with him. But he was always asking me about my money situation, about how much money I made. But I thought he was just curious about like how I made money in my job. But he was always joking about having a sugar mama, and I would pay more often than not. And this guy had an okay job. He was a videographer and photographer, so he was doing okay. I literally have notes up right now about this because the story is so wild. So he did joke about how he had a friend in West Virginia, because that's where he used to work, about how he had a sugar mama there. He was like, no, it's just like she'll buy me shoes every so often, and then like I'll buy her shoes, whatever. We go back and forth. Ladies, this is why you look in your Instagram story viewers and look at who he follows on Instagram. Always. Live and die by that. This woman started looking at my Instagram story quite often, but she didn't follow me. And she knew who I was, and she knew that we were hanging out, and I was like, okay, well, she could just follow me at this point. It would be less weird. So I brought it up to him. And he goes, why are you so concerned about who's looking at your story? It's Instagram. People are just looking at your story. And he gaslit me this whole entire time into thinking I was crazy. And turns out I wasn't. So fast forward, he was a dick for a couple months, but I just kept staying around. I don't know why. I was crazy. Whatever. So he ends up wanting to buy a motorcycle. He said he's been saving up. He's always wanted a motorcycle. Cool, whatever. I don't know how he had the money for it, but he kept saying he had saved up for a while. So I take him to go get the motorcycle because he needed someone to drive him. And after that, he goes and meets his friend. And then there's a girl there. That's where I'm going to have to end this one. So go to part 2.